Hello everyone and welcome to our podcast on how to analyze malicious documents. I'm Anand R Menon, SOC Lead at Tecplix Technologies. In today's video, I will guide you through how to analyze malicious documents without even opening them. So stay tuned for live demos and learn how to analyze these documents in simple, straightforward steps.
Good evening, everyone. Today we are discussing how to analyze malicious documents. So I planned this session in such a way that we will go through a few slides and then we'll directly go to a practical session where we will analyze some of those documents, some exercise documents, and finally we will actually execute a malicious document and see how we can analyze it using the toolset that we have. So first up, what are malicious documents or maldocs? So basically, these are documents crafted to trick users into clicking malicious links or maybe call back to an attacker-controlled phone number, basically aimed at stealing money, credentials, company data, etc. So we might have all seen those emails mentioning like fake invoices coming from malicious entities who try to impersonate e-commerce websites, or maybe package shipment charges from courier services like DHL, or even some emails we have seen like urgency or threatening tactics used by these malicious entities in order to force victims to pay fines. So all these kind of emails contain malicious documents, forcing or enticing the users to click on these documents and further compromise their machines, their user accounts, or even their company domain. So there are different kinds of document extensions seen with regards to maldocs. So primarily the ones seen are doc, docx, docm, XLS, XLSX, PDF, or one. So this doc and XLS formats are primarily seen with regards to Microsoft Office 97 2003 versions. DocX and XLSX started appearing from Microsoft Office 2007. And very recently, we have also started seeing malicious OneNote documents being distributed in the malicious emails or the phishing mails. Now let's discuss the different modes of delivery of this malicious documents or maldocs. So first up is, as we all know, phishing. So this is the most prevalent method, that is using malicious emails or messages in order to distribute these malicious documents. And the next one is the drive-by downloads, which is basically the method by which malicious files are automatically downloaded to your user machine while visiting a website. Another one which we have is the USB devices, that is infection through USB devices, but that one is no longer a very prevalent method due to the stringent security policies used by the companies. And another prevalent method which we are seeing these days is a malvertising, that is malicious advertisements. So we might have all seen those sponsored links on top of the Google search results, right? So if we are not giving due diligence, we might click one of those links, and who knows, it might be a malicious link which can compromise your machine. And finally, we have the cloud storage. So the cloud storage is basically how we have seen the malicious documents being shared via Dropbox, Google Drive, such kind of cloud storage environments to infect machines or the user accounts. And finally, in this slide, we will discuss the impact. What are the specific impacts of these malicious documents? So, as we know, the phishing is, as I mentioned, is a common gateway to most of these kinds of cyber attacks, including ransomware, data extortion, or remote code execution kind of scenarios. So the companies suffer a whole lot of issues, including reputation loss, the intellectual property loss, privacy breach, which not only impacts the companies, but even the customers of those companies. For example, in case of a hospital which has been compromised by maybe a ransomware attack, which resulted from a malicious document. That may even expose the patient the PII information, and that may create greater issues. And finally, this will impact the finance of the company. There will be a huge financial loss along with all the other issues which they face. So that's it regarding the slides. Now I will directly go to the practical session where we will analyze some of these malicious, document files using certain static analysis tools. Yeah, so first up, we are using a tool called Zipdump. This tool is basically used to see the hexadecimal as well as the ASCII representation of the documents. So first up, let's use the hexdump tool to see what is inside this specific malicious document, or the document which you are first analyzing. Just a- So we are using this specific hexdump tool, and we are going to analyze a document file, which is an exercise file, just for demonstration purposes. So here we are using a head command in order to just see the first few lines of that particular document. So this is the output, and on the left side of the screen, we have the hexadecimal representation, and on the right side, we have the ASCII representation. Some of the indications that this is a document file, while we analyze this particular file, is this particular section. The first section, which almost resembles like a doc file written there, right? It seems like a doc file written there. So it is an indication that this is a doc file, and that is some evidence we can get regarding this hexdump tool. Finally, if you want to drill down into the specific file, we have another tool called Oledump. This particular tool can actually go into the specific document and see what are inside. There are specific streams inside this document which can give us further evidence. So let us drill down to that particular document and see what is inside. So we are using the same file, but using a different tool. In this particular session, we are more interested in the code aspect of the files. So hash value will also definitely give more value to that. So this one we are actually seeing some files related to files included in this particular document. These are called streams, basically. So streams are nothing but containers which contain different data objects within the document. So we have different sequence numbers here. The bytes, that is the byte, that is the size in bytes of these particular strings. That is 114 bytes, 4096 bytes. These are the different containers which contain the information within this Word document. So the first stream is called the compound object stream, which is basically not much useful in case of a threat analyst investigation, but it is a class ID related to the document is being contained in that particular stream. The second and the third stream is the document summary information and the summary information. These contain certain metadata related to the document, such as the creator date of the document, the creator, who is the creator of the document, the last modified date. These information can be gathered from the second and the third strings. So that particular aspect will come into picture. Like, well, when it is useful is because when the attackers try to tamper with the file, that is, they try to modify the file, and what they do is they will basically edit the last modified date to a previous date, so that there is no evidence that they have tampered with the file. So it is similar to checking the hash value. The hash value, if it is changed, we will get an idea. Here, similar to that, we can also check the last modified date with this particular metadata. So even the attackers try to predate that last modified date, so that there is no evidence that they have made some modifications to the file. And the fourth stream is the table stream, which is actually which contains the table of contents within that Word document, or the document formatting. All those details are contained there. And finally, we have the Word document string, which contains the main data related to the document, such as the text, the embedded images, all such information related to the document is contained within the Word document string. Now, if you want to drill down to the specific streams, that is also possible with the tool Oledump. So for that, we use additional switches. So if we want to drill down to the first stream, we use S1. And this will give us the specific what is contained within that specific first stream, that is the compound object stream. Here also we are seeing the hex dump on the left side, and on the right side we are seeing the ASCII dump. So we are interested more in the readable characters, right, which give us more information in the investigation. So for that, we go to that specific readable area, which is the ASCII area, and we use the -D switch for that. So it will give us basic information, such as it is not much information contained in this document. This is a exercise file, so it shows that is a Microsoft Word 97 2003 document. And further usage of the tool can be explored in some other switches as well. So now I'm going to an Excel file contained within this exercise folder, and we use the same tool. So this is an Excel file contained in this folder, and it also contains similar streams as the Word document, but it is contains lesser streams, which is document summary information, and workbook. So the workbook will be the specific stream where all the data of the Excel file will be contained. And if you want to see the metadata which I mentioned earlier, for that there is a specific switch which is -m. So we are using that specific switch here to see what are the metadata related to this particular file. So these are the metadata related to the file. As you can see here, there is the author information mentioned, the last saved byte. It is also by the same user, which is the root user, and the create time is mentioned here. The last save time is also mentioned here. So this is what I mentioned earlier. So suppose an attacker needs to has tampered a particular file in order to prevent the detection, they will change the last saved time. So whenever he changes that or modifies that file, that last save time will be changed to the present time, right? Whenever he modified it. So he will change that back to the previous date, maybe, in order to evade the detection. That is some tactics used by the attackers. And these are some metadata related to the file which we can explore using the Oledump tool. Now we will explore. Now we have explored an Excel file and Word file. Now we will explore a macro-enabled doc file. So can anybody mention what a macro is with regards to an Excel file, a PowerPoint file, or a Word file? If anybody has any information regarding what a macro is.
It's a formula or a function to which makes our work easier.
Yes, that is very true. So macros are nothing but a set of automated actions which can be enabled in the Word, Excel, or PowerPoint kind of tools. So these have some legitimate uses like automation stuff, like automatically showing a message box or showing a button. All these things can be automated using the macro tools. So macros are basically coded using an software or a language called Visual Basic for Application. So it is a VBA code we tell for a macro. So but the malicious actors, what they do is they will misuse this macro functionality in order to deliver malware. So they enable these macros within the Word documents. And once we open the Word document and enable the macro, it will automatically trigger multiple malicious actions, such as maybe downloading malicious files, connecting to a command and control server, or maybe disabling your Windows Defender. All these activities can be done by malicious actors by misusing a macro. So here we are just testing a sample macro-enabled Word document, which is an exercise file. So we use the same tool, Oledump, and we use the same command as earlier. So this doc_m is an indication that is a macro-enabled Word document. So it will similarly show the different streams within the file, and we are more interested in the A3 and the A4 stream, which basically contains the macro-enabled files. So capital M means that there is actual content within that, and small m means that the macro has been enabled, but there is no actual content. So we should actually drill down to the capital M stream, which is the A3 stream. So let's see what is inside there. So this is the ASCII and X representation for that file. And if you want to specifically see that return represent that readable area, we use the V switch, and it will show us. It is just a message box mentioning hello world. So it will, on any opening the Microsoft Word document and enabling the macros, it will just automatically show us a message box called hello world. There is no malicious aspect here. It's just for demonstration purposes. So in the practical session, we will see how that can be misused by the malicious entity. And finally, we have one more exercise file, which is the docx file, which I mentioned earlier, which started appearing from Microsoft Office 2007 versions. So in case of docx file, it is actually a zip file containing multiple XML files. Even though it doesn't look like a zip file, it has docx file is actually a zip file containing multiple XML files. So in order to analyze the zip file, we need another tool called Zipdump. So before using that, let us again see the content of that file using the hexdump tool. And there is also some indication that this is a docx file from the hexdump tool. Some evidence we can get that this is a docx file and a zip file actually. For that, we use the zip hexdump tool. And we couple it with the head to see the first few lines. So here, these are the first few lines in that particular hexdump tool. And this you can see this PK mentioned here, right? This PK means that it is a zip file. So whatever zip file, if we are statically analyzing the code and we are seeing this PK, it means that it's a zip file. So in order to see the streams inside, we use the Zipdump tool instead of the Oledump. So these are the different streams contained within the file. These are, as you can see, these are all different XML files, right? All these are different XML files. And this is a docx file. It's like a container, a zip file containing all these files. And if you want to drill down to a specific XML file which we want, as the same format like Oledump, we can particularly drill down to that string. Here we are trying to see what is contained in the fourth string. So we use the S4 and okay, need to use the frontmost switch, A switch. So that will show what is contained within that. And in order to particularly see that data, the readable format, we need to use the D switch. This will show what is contained within that file. These are connections to Microsoft Office, Open XML formats. These are some data contained within that particular stream within the docx file. So these are the details regarding the exercise files which we have. We have explored all the exercise files now. Let us go to an actual malicious file, a document where we can execute it and analyze it using the same tool which we have used. Okay, I will just go to that particular malicious document. So this is that document which we have. It is a sales report from a fictionary company ABC. So we are so suppose a scenario where a user in the ABC company has received this this document via their email and they have downloaded it and they are just interested to see what is inside. They are expecting a real sales report here. So they open it. And it mentions that in order to view the content of this file, they need to enable macros. So they are enabling the content here. And suppose that once they enabled it, they are seeing a command prompt being executed, and their system is getting slow. There are multiple files getting downloaded as part of it. So they are alarmed and they are informing the SOC team. So let's see how we can analyze this macro enabled document and see what is inside using the tools. So we use the Oledump tool and check what is inside. So there's a particular sales report which we just saw now. So it contains all these streams, and we are interested, as I mentioned earlier, in the capital and the A3 stream. So we'll go to that particular stream to see what is inside. So it is showing all us different representation, hexa and ASCII representation. We want to see the specific readable format, what is contained within the macro file. So we'll use the -v. So this is what is happening. So there is a function called auto open. So once we enable that macros, this is what is happening. It is enabling a shell where it is using a netcat tool in order to connect to a remote IP to the specific port. So this is a typical reverse shell scenario wherein an attacker is listening with a particular netcat tool, netcat listener, and the victim is connecting to that particular IP, to this particular port. once that macro is enabled. So this is a typical reversal scenario using this netcat tool. So that is why the attack, the victim is seeing that command prompt, all this malicious activities happening. So once a reversal is established in a practical scenario, anything is possible for the attacker. He can execute multiple commands in the system. He can laterally move in the environment, compromise the entire domain. Anything is possible using the reversal execution. So that's it regarding the demo. So hope it was clear to everyone.
Thank you for watching. We would love to hear your thoughts. So please share them in the comment section below. Also, let us know what other content you would like us to cover in our upcoming sessions. If you like the podcast, support us by liking the video and subscribing to our channel. Your support will help us bring more valuable content to you. See you next time.